And you really think you could protect His Majesty from attack? You couldn't defend him from a butterfly, let alone a trained assassin. Now you were an utter failure to your country, and you should be ashamed. Now get out of my office. Next!
Another disappointment. Look at you. You don't even look like you could hurt a fly. Sit down. Let us commence the interview. Your papers, please. You've gotta be kidding. 0 military experience, and your parents are peasants in the outer city? How could you possibly ever be able to defend our great... Your Grace. At ease, Zachary. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt your meeting. Your Grace is always more important. What is it you need of me? Apparently, there is a dispute in Training Field 4. It could use your attention, for the moment. Surely one of the other officers should deal with it. Perhaps. Perhaps. But I want my very best to deal with it. Don't make me ask again. Of course, Your Majesty. I'll finish our interview when I get back. Oh no, I'll deal with it myself, I think. But Your Grace. Don't argue with me again. Now go do what you must. Yes, Your Grace. You may now arise, subject. Apologies for the interruption again. I know you weren't expecting to be interviewed by me today. But I demand you do your best regardless. Is that understood? Great. So, let's go over your history. You come from a peasant family and you live in the outer cities beyond the walls. Compelling. Why seek a job inside the walls? Why not just continue your work on the outside? Higher pay? Sure, but people outside the walls, our farmers and shepherds, are an important part of our system. Plus, you have no exemplary record. In fact, you have quite the opposite. You were caught for petty theft a couple years back. Would you care to explain? You were stealing food. It is my understanding that there was a famine that year due to poor harvest. That's why I extended some of the royal grain reserve to the outer city. Explain then, why would you be caught for theft? Was the royal stipend not enough? I was assured by my accountants that it would be more than necessary. For your family it wasn't? I see. Next, I see you worked your family farm for most of your life. Nothing truly of note except your sudden change in career. I don't see any military experience in your record, is that correct? Yes? And you felt the correct career for your life was a member of the Honor Guard. Oh, your father served. What legion was he a part of? Levy? Your father served as a peasant levy. So no professional training then. Say, which conflict did your father serve in exactly? The Eastern Revolt. That's when my cousin Alfred III attempted to overthrow me. That conflict was so sudden there wasn't any formal recruitment of levies. How exactly did your father end up as a levy then? He volunteered. Your father chose to fight in my name. A loyalist through and through. Commendable for your family. Many chose to side with my cousin and his beliefs of me being too young to lead, and it leading to the downfall of the economy. I had only been leading the kingdom for just under 2 years then. I was merely picking up the remains of what I was left. It's a pity my reign had to start with bloodshed. Well, your father and your family have my thanks for your support and grit on the battlefield. Did your father show you any of what he learned on the battlefield? Some. So, you aren't completely devoid of skill, though I doubt it is up to our standards. Tell me, and speak honestly, do you really think you can stand our training? Our training is difficult and long. Most honor guard are recruited from those with years of experience in the army, and most of those soldiers wash out. What makes you think you could possibly stand up to the pressure? You have nothing else? Explain. Your parents are getting too old to work the farms, so you intended to carry the burden with your pay as an honor guard. I commend your honesty, but I hope you understand our training requires more than just strength and physical prowess to pass our training. The honor guard follow me everywhere. This means you will have to learn the basic etiquette of court. This includes balls and festivals, of which you must act accordingly and know the customs in and out. You will almost be as an ambassador to the kingdom as much as my bodyguard. If you wouldn't mind, I would like to see you stand. Yes, stand. I assure you this is part of my process for picking my honor guard. Thank you. You can tell a lot about someone with how they hold themselves. Their past, their weaknesses, their current emotions. I see you aren't muscular, but you aren't devoid of muscle either. The farms keep you somewhat busy, I presume. You hold your body rather rigidly. Your body is stiff and unmoving. You will quickly learn to solve these problems in training. Yes, in training. Yes, as much as your record says you shouldn't even be allowed to join training, I have decided you shall be allowed to join. Why? Daring to question your monarch, but I shall indulge you. What I see standing here is someone who is willing to do what is needed. What you lack in experience, you make up for in your drive. Yes, your drive. I can see it in your eyes. Our training is difficult, and I need people willing to learn what is needed, not people who have preconceived ideas from their previous training. I don't need more brutes protecting me. Your paperwork shall be pushed to the proper people, and you will be expected to show for training tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow. Once your training is complete, you will have one final test, and I shall have the final say on who passes and who fails in your class. If you pass, you will be assigned private quarters in the castle and have your expenses covered for the foreseeable future. And one extra note for motivation. Please, one moment. If you are able to pass the test, for your family's generational loyalty, I shall cover your family's expenses as well. You will not need to worry for your parents anymore. You're welcome, my dear. Just don't disappoint. Now run along and prepare yourself for tomorrow. I'll be watching you and your class's progress closely. Afternoon, recruit.